Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Good fight, good boxing match. Two guys showed skills in this fight defensively. I thought Crawford was very good at time and distance. There was a few concerns going into the fight with me with Crawford, and one of them was the weight. I didn't know if he could carry up that weight, have the same speed, timing, agility, right, stamina. These were things that I was very concerned going into the fight. I saw both guys yesterday during the weigh-in. Both guys looked very ripped. I had it 9-3 to Crawford. I thought he boxed beautifully. I thought his control, his distance, his timing, his shot selection was well on point. His defense, his movement, his foot placement. A lot of the times, his lead foot was on the outside of Canelo's foot, which was very good. This was not a hit and run like I thought that's how he would win. He stood in front of Canelo for the majority of the night. Now, he did sway side to side, with good lateral movement. Canelo was trying to cut down the ring, and, he was cutting down the ring at times. At times he was following Bud around, and, I just thought, like, it's good just to see just how good, he is, right? How Bud is. Bud's timing on the shots, his combination punches were very good. A lot of what Canelo landed with were on the end of the shot, which means, he couldn't really follow through. Those one or two shots where, he caught him, and he tried to go through, but they were few and far between. Bud took the shots very well. He took the body shots very well. That was where Canelo spent a lot of his attacks going to the body. Bud's counterpunching was very good. Bud would make a miss, take a half step, pop, pop, pop. He wasn't loading up in every single shot. And because of that because he wasn't loading up in every single shot, he was able to be more in flow, more in rhythm than Canelo. I keep saying it, his timing is excellent. His movement was very good. He didn't overly move, but he moved when he needed to. Um, you know, and yeah, the more powerful shots came from Bud Crawford in this fight. The other thing too, I have to say, and it's something I want to put out there. I don't want to hear nothing about Canelo's chin, right? Canelo's chin is a true elite of any chin in the history of boxing. It's the best chin I've seen in my lifetime. Like his toughest chin. I would say punching it is like punching granite. You know, you know, like yeah, like his chin is true, tried and tested, and you know, uh, he looked stunned a few times in this fight, but he never looked hurt. He looked more frustrated than he did hurt. Um, I, I think he thought he would if if uh, if Crawford stood in front of him. I thought he would get more shots off. Crawford dealt with a high guard. Crawford was shooting with him at a lot of the times, or he would wait for the break, and then before he could get the hands back, he would get the shots off Crawford. So Crawford's the shots were based on timing, and Canelo reached the end of a few shots, right? But he was at full length, full stretch. That's why he couldn't get the real power in it that he wanted. He landed one or two good shots. I think it was the fifth round. He landed a couple of good shots, and you're thinking here, and something Bud had done in this fight every time he felt like he lost a round, he came out and he took the first 15, 20, 30 seconds on the next round, and he said, well, I'm going to bully you. And he did that a few times in this fight. I think he did it like twice, 2 or 3 times after he lost rounds. You know, he came out and said, no, I'm in charge. And he did that, and he was able to do that there. And I felt like Bud was able to, impose his will on Canelo Alvarez. And, you know, I like Canelo. I've always been a fan of his. Like, you know, what he's done in his career, undisputed 168 for a very long time. You know, like he's a top class boxer. You know, he's good defensively. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He puts you under pressure. He puts fighters under pressure. He's very good at that. There, he's good at getting fighters out of their rhythm, out of their out of their comfort zone, and putting that pressure on them. And he tried that with Bud tonight, but Bud's composure was excellent. Bud, was not going to be bullied, and it was a very good fight, bar a headbutt, which I think was a complete accident, right? Bar a headbutt, it was a very clean fight. Both fighters weren't grabbing or holding. Both guys weren't, trying to wrestle on the inside. There was one or two little pieces here and there, but I barely saw the referee going break. It was a very clean fight from that aspect, and that sort of helped Bud Crawford from a technical aspect. He had timing. When he had timing and he had space, Bud would shoot the gap very well. When Bud got off first, you felt like, and Bud started slow. He lost the first round for me. I give Crawford Canelo 3 rounds. I give him the first, I give him the 5th, and I think it was the 7th or 8th round. I'm not sure which one I give him, but Crawford came out and won the next one and the one after that. So I give him 3 rounds. But I thought he boxed extremely well. I thought he controlled the distance. He controlled the timing of the fight. Just excellent. And Bud Crawford's a special boxer. He is special. I've always liked Bud Crawford. I never really, one of the first things I did on YouTube, and I went on a channel, and at the end of it, it was Jedi's channel, right? This was early on in my YouTube, and he asked me who my favorite fighter was, and I said Bud Crawford, fighter today, and I said Bud Crawford, and I still agree with that, right? He is my favorite fighter, even though I thought Canelo could win this one. I went with my heart in this one because I picked Bud to win, and in the Champ Ross Prediction League. But my head was telling me Crawford or Canelo had more ways to win, because I'm thinking if Canelo lands a clean shot, right? If he lands a clean shot, and he's able to hurt Bud. It might take Bud 2 or 3 rounds to recover. And if Canelo can get on top of him, he could win those 2 or 3 rounds. Or those 2 or 3 rounds could have been enough for him to get the victory in this fight. Or it could be a late stoppage for Canelo. But for me, Bud only had one way to win, and that was do what he did. I boxed Canelo because he was going to stop him. Canelo has proven time and time again that he is a special fighter. So, yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it, guys. I'm impressed by Bud Crawford. I'm going to see now. I'm going to see Inoue versus DJ Aknamalia, or however his name pronounced. But yeah, I'm picking Inoue for that. That's going to be a great fight. Two guys with abilities to change their levels. Their skill sets are very good. Both guys are very strong, very quick, very good fighters. Very smart, very intelligent, and it should be a good outcome. It should be a good fight. I actually think that DJ is probably Inouye's toughest opponent, and he's got intangibles. He's got speed. He got timing. He got a bit of power. Defensively, he's a very good fighter. He doesn't give up much space, or he doesn't give up much. What's the word I'm looking for? Opportunities. For a fighter to, and he's very aggressive. He's a very aggressive fighter. He's not going to sit back and, try to let Inoue take the pace of the fight. And, if he can get into rhythm, he's a very dangerous fighter. Inoue, we all know what Inoue can do. He's got great timing. He's got good boxing IQ. He's got power out of the wazoo. He can knock you out with her hand. He's a freaking freak of nature. He's the monster, and I think he's sensational as a fighter. So I'm gonna watch that fight, and yeah, it's gonna be good, guys. It's gonna be fucking good. All right, guys, that's me, guys. Have a good one, guys, and peace.